they played in Pittsburgh, and again, on the road, they came out really, 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 really slow, flat, and they gave up 2 goals pretty quickly. Of course, they answered. They're the Caps. They always answer. Got it together in the second, played a great second period, and played a pretty good third period, too. They scored 2 in the second, took the lead in the third, 3-2, and things were looking okay for them. They're still not getting enough shots to the net. I think it's becoming a problem. I mean, I don't know if Hunter isn't getting through to them in terms of shots, but I mean they only had 20 shots in this game. And then finally Malcolm put the Caps away in overtime. 20 shots isn't going to cut it. I mean, they only had 4 shots in the first period. That's coming out flat. That's getting dominated. 9-4 on shots on goal in the first. And they come out again and boom. They Caps answer. They outscore 10-5. They need to play consistent 60 minutes, and they don't do that on the road. I mean, true, yes, they did get a point. Yeah, I mean, they got a point. The bigger issue here in that game, Alex Ovechkin checks a guy into the corner. Then from there, NHL suspends him 3 games for launching. He's a repeat offender. Ted Leonsis complained about it. Thought it was a little... Thought it was a little excessive. And a lot of his teammates thought it was excessive, but he's a repeat offender. So that means they're watching. He's in the James Harrison category. You know, he's in the Brian Cox category. And they're going to keep an eye on him. And so they didn't have Ovi when the champs came to town. So the Caps, without Ovi, without Backstrom, without Green, went out, and what'd they do? Of course they beat the Bruins. Right? That's DC sports for you. You know, I mean, the Caps played one of the best games of their year. Matthew Perreault drops a hat trick. Matthew Perreault, like, you know, I mean, this guy isn't exactly Wayne Gretzky here, but he dropped 3 goals in there. He had 2 in the second, and he finished it off with 1 in the third. They played pretty well. It was a pretty clean game. There wasn't a lot of power plays. They still got outshot again. They still only had 23 shots on goal, but luckily 5 of them went in. Tim Thomas was sat because he didn't go to the White House to visit Obama the day before, because he is a staunch Republican and pretty much hates Obama's guts. Let's get serious. He said some more politically correct thing, saying that he didn't like how the government was being run. But yeah, I mean, he didn't play, so they had the backup goalie, but I mean, it was a good win for the Caps. They needed to end the first half of the season going into the break. They needed to end that on a high note. They needed to end it on a high note, and look, they're as inconsistent as they've been. They are still first place in the Southeastern Division. They are still in third place in the Eastern Conference. The season ended today. They would host a first-round playoff game. They just need to win on the road. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to say it, but they're 8-13-2 on the road. I'm going to read the other teams' records on the road that are in the playoffs right now, and then I'm going to say Washington's again for effect. 16-7-2, 15-7, 18, 7 and 2, 14, 10 and 2, 13, 10 and 5, 11, 10 and 4, 14, 10 and 1. All of these teams are in double-digit wins on the road. All of these teams have winning records on the road. The Capitals, 8, 13, and 2. That is a worse road record than the New York Islanders. I mean, that's where we're at right now. You flip it over to the home side. The Caps are 18, 6 and 1 at Verizon. They get you in Verizon, they'll probably beat you. And that's the fact. But if they're only ranked third, they can only play at home for one round unless something happens. It is the All-Star break right now. All-Star break will be this weekend. Skills competition tomorrow night. I get into the skills competition of the NHL All-Star game, but I don't get into the actual game. It's a dog and pony show, just like the Pro Bowl is. I'm not even going to discuss the Pro Bowl with you. I mean, the best sport has the worst All-Star game. And that game's a joke. You got the two teams that are in the Super Bowl. None of those guys get to play because the Pro Bowl's before the Super Bowl. Then, you got a bunch of guys who are hurt who don't even, want to play. They're like, nah, I'm hurt. I don't feel like playing. And there's some guys who just are indifferent about the whole thing and they just don't show up. So then we got all these backups and stuff in there. So it's kind of like a pseudo Pro Bowl. It's not really a Pro Bowl. Like Andy Dalton is in the Pro Bowl. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Andy Dalton. I think he had a great rookie season. He did good things. He showed promise. He has a guy he can throw to in A.J. Green. But Pro Bowl? Really? I mean, look at the AFC. Tom Brady. Phillip Rivers. I mean, Fitzgerald for Buffalo had probably better numbers than Dalton did. I mean, I don't know exactly, but Andy Dalton as representing the best quarterback in the AFC. I mean, yeah, I know Matt Schaub got hurt and all, but let's get serious. Anyway, back to hockey. The Caps, they are in position to make moves, and I think they're going to make moves. I think they need an extra big body down low to get people out of the net, and I think they need a couple more wing guys. I think they need to make these lines just a little bit more fluid. And look, it doesn't matter what place you're in today. That's the beauty about the Stanley Cup playoffs. You can be the 8th seed and you can win the whole damn thing. So, I'm not overly concerned with the Caps right now. They need to start jockeying for positioning. They need to finish strong on this road trip. I said this was an important road trip for them, and it is. But, I mean, there's still a lot of hockey left. But this was a big road trip for them. They had to come out of this road trip on these 6 out of 7 on the road and, really just really they need to leave with a winning record. They won at Montreal. They lost. They got shut out of Carolina. They lost in overtime to Pittsburgh. So right now they're 1-1-1. So they're 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 overtime loss. And they got 3 more. At Tampa, at Florida, they do the back-to-back Florida thing again. And then from there they fly up and they play Montreal on Super Bowl Sunday. So not just road games, but 2 of the 3 are division road games. So, and one of them's Florida, the team that they're chasing and jockeying for position with. So they got to get these. Big week coming up for the Capitals when they return to ice on Tuesday at Tampa, Wednesday Florida, Saturday Montreal, and we'll be looking at the game against Tampa and depending on when we get going here, possibly the Florida game too. So that's Caps, and okay, that'll about do it for this week. Kind of a slow week this week. This is the off week before the Super Bowl. We'll kind of get into things a little bit next episode, preview the game, break down what's important, what's not important. We'll look at some of the prop bets. Those are always fun. Look at the line again, tackle lists on the handicapping side. We'll go over the Terps. They'll have played, by this point, they'll have played Virginia Tech and possibly Miami. I think they play Miami on Tuesday. And we'll get into the Caps a little bit more and see what they have to do to improve their team as the trade deadline approaches. And we'll have some other guests in here. But and I also will introduce you to Jacoby the Pig, who will be also making a Super Bowl prediction as well. So, hope to hear back from everybody. Hope you're enjoying it. My name is Josh Myers. This is the DC Sports Show. And as always, this is a 5 to 7 presentation.